This is video 6 for paper 3 for the higher mock. Now the first question on this is quite a complex one, not because of the maths, but just because of the amount of wording in the question and the amount of calculations that you need to show. So the first thing we've got, box contains 750 grams and provides 15 servings. So the first thing I would do before reading anything else is actually work out what one serving would give me. So in order to do that, if there's 750 grams in the full box divided by 15, this tells me that there's 50 grams per serving. So in every single bowl that you would make, you'd put 50 grams of cornflakes. Second part of the question says there are 65 grams of carbohydrates per 80 grams of flakes. So at this point, I'm going to read on because I'm not entirely sure what it wants me to do yet. So Fred has a daily intake of 320 grams of carbohydrates. So that means every single day that's how much he wants to eat. One serving of the cornflakes, so this is why we worked this one out earlier, gives more than 12% of Fred's daily allowance. So what we need to do is to actually find out whether or not one bowl of cornflakes gives more than 12% of the 320 grams. Now, just because this is a quick set one that we can do, I'm actually going to very quickly just work out what number we are aiming for. So 12% of 320 grams, which if you type into your calculator, remember to do this, we can change 12% into a little decimal, so 0.12, multiplied by 320. Remember, other ways that are possible for this. If you've got a better way that you like to do percentages, that's fine, you can use that. So that gives us 38.4 grams. That's what he wants it to give. We're going to find out if it's more or less than this value. So if we go back up to this section, if there's 65 grams of carbohydrates in 80 grams of flakes, what I could do to know is 1 gram of flakes. How much carbohydrates does that provide? In order to do that, we would have to share the 65 grams by 80. So in other words, we're working out what 1 gram of flakes gives us. If we do 65 divided by 80, that would give us a value of 0.8125. So that's grams of carbs per gram of flakes. So if each gram of the cornflakes gives us this much carbohydrate, 50 grams of cornflakes would give us 50 multiplied by 0.8125. If you type that into a calculator, that comes out as 40.625. That's how much carbs there are in one serving or one bowl. So is this more than his 12%? Well, yes. This is how much is in one bowl of cornflakes or one serving of cornflakes. This is how much we were trying to compare it to. So yes, it is more than 12%. The next question we're looking at here is a little bit of a proof. Now, whenever it's asking you to do a proof in terms of algebra, they look very similar to this every single time. The clue here is not to substitute numbers in. It will be awarded 0 marks in the exam. You must prove whatever it is asking algebraically. So in other words, work out what it will be no matter what the value of n. So here, first thing I'm going to look at is actually trying to work out if there's anything I can do with these brackets. I'm trying to prove that this section here is always equal to 8n. So let's ignore the A10 for now, and let's just see if we can do anything with these. Well, as soon as I see brackets in an exam, first thing I want to do is expand them. Don't forget, squared simply means times the bracket by itself. So my first piece of advice would be to put n plus 2 squared sometimes in that bracket by itself. If I work that out, I would get n times n, so n squared, n times 2, so plus 2n, then 2 times n, so again plus 2n, and 2 times 2, so that gives me 4. Just simplifying that a little bit, gives me n squared plus 2n and 2n, so 4n plus 4. I'm then going to do the same with this section. Now just be careful, we're going to take this away from this one a little bit later, but let's work out what this bracket would give us. So again, using the same idea, n minus 2. If I square it, it means times it by itself, so I get that. So let's multiply out these. N times n will give me n squared. N times minus 2 gives me minus 2n. Minus 2 times n gives me minus 2n. And then minus 2 times minus 2 gives me plus 4. Simplifying that a little bit will give me n squared. We've got take away 2n, take away another 2n, so minus 4n, plus 4. Now the question says that we need to do the answer to this bit, take away the answer to all of this. So if we do this, we would get n squared plus 4n plus 4. So we've taken this section, and we now need to take away all three terms that we got from these brackets. So if I take away n squared, take away n squared. If I take away minus 4n, that cancels each other out. So take away a negative is the same as adding 4n. And then I need to take away 4, or plus 4. Taking away a plus is the same as just taking it away, so minus 4. At this point, let's collect together the terms. So I've got n squared minus n squared, so they cancel. I've got 4n plus another 4n, so that gives me 8n. I've then got plus 4, take away 4, so they just cancel. So actually, when expanding all of this, it gives me 8n, which if we look back at the start, is exactly what I was trying to prove it would equal. Without this working, you are going to get 0 marks for this question. There are quite a few marks available for this question on the exam. Show everything. Even if you're not sure what step to do next, at least start by expanding brackets and collecting things together.